All right. Listen, please. All right. So, what do we know about quadratics so far? What is standard form? Yep, so standard form is what? Ax squared plus bx plus c. Or y equals either one, or equals 0, yep. Okay? If I were to attempt to find my vertex when it's in standard form, how would I find my x? Opposite of b over 2 times a, and then to find y, we'd have to plug it in, right? All right, so remember when we were graphing lines, and there were like 3 different forms to write line in. We had slope-intercept form, we had, what else? Yep, slope-intercept, point slope, and standard, okay? So when we're doing quadratics, there's another form for quadratics as well, okay? And that form is called vertex form, okay? And this is what vertex form looks like. Okay, it is a times x minus h plus k. Our vertex is h, comma, k. So those will be numbers. H and k will be numbers, and our vertex will be h and k. So if I have, let's say I have 4 times x minus 2 squared plus 5. Okay, time out. F of x. Who remembers what that's just a fancy way of writing? No, it's just a fancy way of writing y. Okay, we talked about that when we did functions. So when it says f of x equals, all that means is it's a fancy way to write y equals. Some of us aren't writing this down, and I'm not sure why. Okay, so if I wanted to find my vertex of this guy, what is my h? No, what is my h? 2, right here. It says 2, right? Because it says x minus h. This says x minus 2, so my h is 2. Okay, and then on the end is plus k. This is plus 5. So my vertex is 2, comma 5. Yeah. What? No, because the formula is x minus h. So if it's x minus 2. If this were x plus 2, then it becomes a negative 2. But the formula is x minus h. So as long as that's a minus, h is going to be a positive number. Okay? Grab your calculators. You need your calculator. All right, let's clear this guy out because we've been doing a lot of stuff with it. So go on second, plus sign, 7, 1, 2. All right, that'll get us back to some normal graphs and all that good stuff. All right, go to y equals, and just put in x squared. Okay, so we're not going to multiply it by anything. We're not going to add anything onto it. We're just going y equals x squared, and we are hitting enter. Okay, this is called the parent function of a quadratic. Okay, so that's this guy. This is and it tells us the parent quadratic function is, in this case, f of x equals x squared. What's f of x? Just y. So it's y equals x squared. Okay? Everything that we are going to do with graphing these is going to be based off of x squared. Okay? And when it is y equals x squared, our vertex is 0, 0. Okay? So basically what it is if I'm doing my graph, I'm starting at 0, 0, and then when I plug 1 in, what's 1 squared? 1. So 1, 1, negative 1, 1. What's 2 squared? What's 2 squared? 4. So 2, 4, negative 2, 4. Well, we'll talk about that. Okay, right now, when we're talking parent function, it's just positive x squared. Okay, what's 3 squared? 9, so it would be 3, 9, negative 3, 9. And that's going to be the basis. When you guys get to Algebra 2, everything that you do with quadratics is going to be based off of this function right here. Okay? All right. Hallie, you asked about negative x squared. What happens when a is negative? Yeah, what happens is it reflects and it goes down. So the same thing happens, but if it's a negative x squared, it's not necessarily the parent function, it's the reflection of the parent function. Okay? All right, so, where am I? All right, H moves our graph left and right, okay? Because so if I'm doing my vertex, remember vertex is H, comma K, right? Okay, this is my X, right? And the x-axis moves things which directions? Left and right, right? Okay, so my H is going to move things left and right. My K is going to move things up and down, because that's my Y, and my Y goes up and down. Right? All right, so in this case, my vertex is what? Huh? 3, comma 2. Okay, so from my parent function, which my vertex was what? What was my vertex of my parent function? No, what was my vertex of my parent function? 0, 0. Yep. Okay, anytime you're talking parent function, I'm going to tell you this. Anytime you talk any parent function, its starting point is going to be 0, 0. Okay, so our starting point 0, 0. Yes, ma'am? No, because remember your formula is x minus h. Okay, so h is 3, because you want that to be a minus sign. Okay, so this moves it how many places to the right? 3 places to the right and up 2. Okay, and then we're not going to go exact right now. We will later. Okay, but that's going to tell us what it does. Okay, if my h was negative, it would move it. If my h was negative, it would move it to the left. If my k was negative, it would move it down. Yep, good. Oops, wrong direction. It's Monday. All right. Okay, this guy. My new vertex is what? 0, negative 2. Okay, because it's x minus, is it x minus anything? No, so it's 0, and then it's supposed to be plus k at the end, right? And since it's minus, it's negative 2. So 0, negative 2. So this gets moved where? From 0, 0, remember that's your starting point, 0, 0. Where does this get moved? Down 2. Yep. And then let's plug in. If I go 1, what's 1 squared? 1 minus 2 is? I know it's Monday morning, but some of us aren't participating very well. There's only about 2 people actually answering questions right now. Okay, so 1 squared is? No, 1 squared is 1 minus 1, or minus 2? Negative 1. So we've got negative 1 on each side. Right, because we have symmetry. It's going to be the same on both sides. Okay, so we're not even going to plug in negative 1, because if it's not the same on both sides, we did something majorly wrong. Okay, if I'm plugging in 2, what's 2 squared? What is 2 squared? 4 minus 2. What are you laughing at? You're not even participating. You're not even trying, so why laugh at people that are actually going to try? Yeah, whatever. You're not even participating in what we're doing, so what's 2 squared? 4 minus 2 is 2. So 2 and 2, 2 and 2. Okay, and now I have enough points that I can make my graph. Okay, so every single point was just, what did we do with every single point? We moved it. We moved our graph. What did we move our graph? Okay, remember, we're starting, how are we starting? At what? 0, 0. What happened to every single point of that graph? It moved down 2. That's what this is. Because our k was negative 2, so it moves us up or down, however much this is. Okay, why didn't it move over? Because h was 0. So if it's 0, it's not going to move, right? Okay, so if we're looking at this, what happens when a is negative? It's gonna reflect, so it's gonna go down. What is my vertex? 0. What? Positive 1, yep, because it's plus k. Minus h plus k. So we're starting at 0, 1. Huh? Because that's what our vertex is. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. We're not there yet. The only thing we've done is find our vertex. Okay? Now, what did we just say happens when I have a negative x squared? Sydney, stop graphing points. You're not doing it right. Okay? Follow along. Okay, what did we say? What happens when a is negative? It's going to reflect, so what's going to happen with this? It's going to open down, yeah. Okay, so if I'm plugging 1 in here, 1 squared is 1. And then what do I have to do with this negative? It comes along with it. So negative 1 plus 1 gives us 0. So negative 1, 0, and 1, 0. Okay, what's 2 squared? 4. And then what happens with that negative? It comes along. So negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. So 2, negative 3, and negative 3, negative 3. Okay, now I have enough points that if you connect them normally, you can do it. Okay, biggest thing, guys, that some of us aren't getting is how to find our vertex. Okay, so remember, let's do this. Our vertex form. Somebody give me vertex form. Okay, f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus Okay. All right, so if I have f of x equals 5 times x minus 3 plus 4. Some of us aren't writing, I'm not sure why. Okay, so my vertex is what? 3, 4, because x minus h, so what's my h? 3 plus k, so what's my k? 4. So let's say I have f of x equals x plus 7 squared minus 2. Innocent. Oh, no, I just missed it. Sorry, thank you. Innocent. What's my h? You gotta at least make an attempt here. You gotta make an attempt. There's not many numbers to choose from there in pink. Make an attempt. Look at the formula. Okay, you're close. It's x minus h. So if this is going to be x minus -7. Yeah, for that to be a plus, it's got to be x minus -7 would turn that into a plus, right? Okay, so Alyssa, what's my k? -2, yep, because it's going to be a plus k, so it's going to be plus -2. Okay, it helps if you participate, trying to figure out what's going on. If you're not going to participate, it's going to be tough for me to help you when you say, I don't know what to do. Okay, so if I have f of x equals x squared minus 10. Alex, what's my h? 0, good. Sydney, what's my k? -10, good. F of x equals 9x plus 1 squared plus 4. Dylan, what's my h? -1, good. Lexi, what's my k? 4, good. Starting to make a little bit more sense on this part of it? All right. That's what we're going to start with today, is just